Hey guys, how are you all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin evening wrap up. So let's go over to those charts. So yeah, pretty quiet day, as obviously you guys will know. We've just all we've really done is just stayed in this range between 9,500 and 9,600 pretty much. A few little, well, you can't even call them stop loss hunts, can you? Down below, on the basis that we're still just in this tight range, but it's not I wouldn't say this is bad for price action anyway. I wouldn't say this is bearish. This is a good outcome for us, I think, at the moment. We're holding this support line quite nicely, looking like we can try and get back to the top end of it. Obviously we're above sort of these trend lines and this potential larger time frame trend line. So yeah, so we can kind of see we're sort of floating around. Maybe we're gonna have a dump at some point, but I mean that will be basically any close under, let's say 9,400 on, let's say, a 4 hour two or 4 2-hour candle, a 2-hour closure candle anyway, or higher. I think we'll then definitely see more downside at least to this like sort of 9,200 level, but more likely to the bottom of the pennant. But though, like I said, this was just like a savage hunt down, and flushed out a lot of over leveraged longs, and just basically people can put longs back on now, and that'll push us back up. All the shorters all got paid. They all obviously got paid. They all got out of positions. Shorters that were in positions they wanted to get out of all got filled with their orders that they would have left in the market. So there's no need for them to try and put any more shorts on necessarily. But hey, we'll see what happens there. So yeah, on the 12-hour, obviously you guys know that 12-hour Stokes is important. You can see we curled down. We are moving down. We're not exactly moving down steeply, but this is good though, that obviously price is holding while Stokes are moving down, because obviously eventually they're going to have to stop moving down, and then we can potentially have some impetus back up. But I would say this is the danger zone now. Basically the rest of today and tomorrow is the danger zone where 12-hour Stokes will possibly be quite a bit lower, and then potentially drag down price with it. So, but if we can make it through that danger zone, if we can stay here or move higher, obviously they're going to flatten out and ideally start to come back up. So yeah, I'll definitely look out for that on the 12-hour, and let's have a quick look at the daily. I mean, daily's still not looking too bad, still just getting held by this trend line, but it doesn't look impossible if we stay here or start to move up slightly that we can get back up through here. So that is not looking too bad. So something a bit different I want to show you guys. I don't know if you guys know of the chart pattern. I've heard of it, called a descending broadening wedge. So as you can see, it's sort of like a descending wedge that's getting wider, as opposed to like an actual wedge that gets more narrow. Well, we see those as well. But yeah, descending broadening wedge, and how they usually play out is price break to the upside percentage is 79%, so that's a very high percentage. Obviously I don't know what numbers they crunch, but I wouldn't expect they pulled the number out of thin air. Obviously also it may be different between different markets, but either way 79% is high however you look at it. And then the average gain once you break out to the top is a 33% move. So let me show you what I have been looking at. So this looks to me very much like, on the weekly time scale, a descending broadening wedge. Would you believe it? The coincidence. Anyway, yeah, I mean, quite a clear top here, quite a clear bottom here, and yeah, we're butting up at the top of it, along with obviously lots of other macro indicators in levels, basically. You know, you guys know what I mean. But yeah, so potentially if we break up here, 33% move up from here would take us, round about that area. Obviously I'll click to 34 by accident, but yeah, look, so basically over 13,000. So but though 13,000 doesn't actually take us above this 14,000 wick. But what I will say though, if we close candles, the highest close we've got on a weekly, obviously barring this price action here, but at any point after obviously this price action here, so this run up here, the highest close we have is around, it's only around 11,500. That's obviously why 11,500 is the important area we've got in our, we've drawn in our horizontal charts. But so 13,000 clearly gets us above there. So I wouldn't expect it to be a wick on a weekly formation playing out. I'd expect us to trade up, make our way up there and stay up there and decide then whether we continue or move down. So that would definitely, in my mind, end up being definitely, obviously nothing's definitely, everything's just what I see as a higher probability. So I'll just that's just a translation for you guys. Whenever I say definitely, what I mean is most likely in my opinion. But not financial advice. When I speak, it's not financial advice basically. But anyway, so a closing candle up there obviously will be the highest weekly close by a long shot, by basically a good $1,500. So I think that would be pretty important on the macro. So yeah, just an interesting idea there. I've actually put it into I don't do these TradingView ideas, but I'm actually going to start doing them more now. A lot of the ideas that we do in the videos for forex stocks or everything, I'm going to start putting them in here, normally based on the TD trades, but these are sort of based on obviously the this is obviously based on the chart pattern. But again, look, you guys, you can see my last two posts, my only other two posts. This one from gold. This is when I started buying gold, by the way, guys. This is actually, no, sorry, this isn't when I started buying gold. This was just one of the occasions where I bought more gold. But yeah, I drew this on. I was like, I basically drew what I expected to happen. Obviously now we're breaking out of this wedge. Obviously our target was up here, and this is pretty much the price action that happened after. So as you can see, this is pretty good. You can't edit or change these. When you put them into TradingView, it's just there forever now. Also, I guess it's just for a certain amount of time and then it stops. And let's have a look at the other idea that we had. This was an oil one. I mean, I didn't think oil was going to go straight down or straight up vertically, because that's not how its price moves. But it was like, if we break out of here, we're either going to get to this level or we're going to get down to that level. And obviously we know where we went to. Come on, guys, we know. And it's interesting though that these targets were based on the actual projected move, and it looks to be that we practically got basically to retesting the actual projected move target. So maybe that could be a point to turn us around. But yeah, again, you can see we had that tightness in the formation, and eventually we were going to break down. I always do kind of say with these things, you can get a fake up and then go back the other way, or a fake down and go back up the other way, and that is pretty much exactly what did happen here. So yeah, interesting to see that play out too. But I'm going to start posting more ideas on here. So on TradingView, if you could, obviously I guess that most of you, everyone uses TradingView, don't they? It's Danny B 888. So yeah, feel free to follow me on there. And how many followers have I got? I've got 4 followers, but then I've never, obviously you can see I never really use this. But yeah, I'm going to start using it more now, so feel free to follow me on here, guys. And yeah, that's it really. You guys can have a look at more of these descending broadening wedge formations. See if you think, does that look like one to you? Obviously it would be a continuation of this move up here, and then clearly and we're in an upward move, I think, in Bitcoin overall, bearing in mind this price here was like $500. So yeah, are we in a continuation up pattern with a descending broadening wedge with a target of 33% higher, which is going to put us above our macro closes and trigger another bull run to 20k. Interesting times, I think, guys. Failing the move coming out here, what could also very likely happen is we reject off this weekly 9 candle here, and then come back around to 7,000, and then curl our way back up, and then print what would look like a very obvious head and shoulders pattern. So yeah, I'll see if there's actually a way of me able to publish that as well. See if I can put on some pretend candles. I have seen other analysts have just pretend candles they put on. So I'll see if I can do that, and then I can publish that idea, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, so remember, not financial advice, guys. Thanks for listening. Yeah, smash that thumbs up button if you guys wouldn't mind. I'm massively appreciative, and I'll speak to you. I'll speak to you later actually, because I'm doing my 3 commas bot update. So look out for that video, and I will speak to you soon.